webcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Get Better IBM i Backups Without Tape, How to Significantly Simplify and Strengthen Backup Operations for IBM i Platform and AIX platforms. My name is Axe Signer, Vice President of Solutions here at Electronic Storage Corporation. We are located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have been in business for over 30 years. We are software developers, so here in our Tulsa office, we have our own programming staff and also our own customer service and technical support staff. We're an IBM registered business partner and a Microsoft certified partner. So today's webcast, we have an overview of how to get better backups, improve your ability to manage your IBM i operations, and better protect your data. So we're going to talk about using manual tape versus virtual tape, manage easier management by automating your backups, how you can use a virtual solution with BRMS, Robot Save, and any of the other Go Save commands on the IBM i platform. Maximize your storage by incorporating data deduplication. How to do a full system restricted state save without tape, which you'll find is done exactly like tape, so that's a great thing. And we're going to gain another layer of protection with replicating backups, where you're able to keep 2 or more copies of your backups compared to tape, where you probably only have 1 copy. So some of the drawbacks of using tape, which we all know tape is going to be slower than a disk-to-disk backup solution. So we're going to optimize backup speed, run backups up to twice as fast compared to tape. Also, tapes are really always at risk. Human error, mislabeled tapes, broken tapes, lost, stolen. Lots of different things can happen with a single copy of your backup. Managing storage, transporting of tapes, labeling of tapes, loading and unloading of tapes all requires such a manual intervention in dealing with day-to-day backups. Requiring someone to be on site, slower recovery speeds, having to go retrieve any tape that you need to do a particular restore of a library or object. Everything in a virtual tape system is available to you online to restore instantly. Limits the ability to recover from a disaster. This is where replication of your backup comes into play, where you have an on-site copy for quick, fast restores and a DR copy, a disaster recovery copy, to restore to another system. Automated backups simplifies operations pretty much immediately. A VTL solution can basically immediately replace physical tape because it looks and behaves the same as physical tapes in terms of your backup process. Reduces risks to your data, multiple opportunities, no doubt, for saving money. You can use this in place of physical tape. Many of our customers do that, or in addition to tape, where we do have some customers where their second copy is actually to tape. Provides remote management of your backups. Deduplication and replication we'll talk a little bit about. Reduce storage costs by using existing hardware, existing storage for your IBM i backups. Compliance for business and auditing. And immediate return on investment day one. That's how simple it is to implement a VTL solution to replace physical tape. So how virtual tape works is tape emulation software that we developed here with our own programming staff in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So our solution emulates either a tape library for the IBM i platform or a tape device. So you can basically set this up to match your current solution, whether it's a single physical tape or 2 tape devices, whereas the Vital solution can emulate a tape device, and you could do your backups the same way that you do them to tape. Emulate LaserVault as a tape library, which works with the Go Save commands too, or Go Backup, or BRMS, robot save. This connects to the IBMI just like an external tape device would, either SAS or fiber channel. In the fiber channel solution, we do support NPIV for each physical fiber channel connection. In LaserVault Vital, you can have and define up to 64 tape devices with NPIV. So that gives you the ability to create multiple tape devices with one fiber channel port that you can share those tape devices across multiple partitions, or maybe it's multiple tape libraries per, and each partition is saving with its own virtual tape library. So Vital looks exactly like tape to the IBMI to your host server. So whether you're using the go save commands or BRMS or robot save or go backup, you're going to be able to use the exact same processes. And that includes a save sys, a full system save, option 21. Put your system, have your system in restricted state to do those full saves whenever it is that you're required to do those. You can do them the exact same way to a virtual tape to disk. It will be quite a bit faster too. Also, doesn't require manual handling of tapes. So this is going to save you a lot of time and reduce the risks that are inherent with tape. Extra features, multi-thread feature for faster backups. We'll talk a little bit about that with the demonstration of our product. All your tapes available, virtually unlimited tape library. The number of tapes that you can have available in a tape library is over 16,000 tapes. So this gives you, in comparison to a physical tape library, which is going to have a limitation of the number of slots for tapes that you have to change out, this is not required because you will have all your tapes available in your backup rotation locally to restore and save to. Protect feature, we'll talk about that. For archiving and purging is a simple way to manage your backups. Replication is also a part of that. Cloud replication, replicate to a DR site, co-location, replicate to tape. All of these different things allow you to make multiple copies of your backups. That's really not possible with tape. BRMS, robot save, other backup commands, we've talked about that, using those solutions to continue to use those solutions for your backups. This VTL emulation software runs in either a server environment or a VM. There is a requirement in the VM part where you do need fiber channel HBA in your server or SAS HBA to connect the IBMI so that we emulate tape with that connection, just like a physical tape. So you can manage your backups virtually anywhere, any chair. You don't have to be on site with your server to manage these backups. In fact, managing and monitoring them would only be as if job log messages or anything like that popped up, but this is going to run completely automated with all your tapes available to do backups. Deduplication and replication strengthens your data protection. Deduplication can reduce the amount of disk space that's required to store backups up to 10 times reduction and even higher. Email notification of replication jobs and retention jobs. This is a feature that allows you to be notified when your replication and retention jobs are running and when they've completed. It also gives you an online log of those jobs that have completed and might be currently running. Speed. So let's talk about speed. We go all the way up to LTO9, which says they can go 400 megabytes a second, whereas Vital is tested at many times over at up to 850 megabytes a second. So you can see that the potential of cutting your backup time in half is a possibility with the Vital solution, with a virtual tape disk-to-disk backup solution. Data deduplication. There's many ways to do this. We, in fact, work with many deduplication backup solutions like Rubrik, Cohesity, Quantum Data Domain, NetApp, and many more. that are out there available on the marketplace. So if you're looking at already for your open systems backup, any deduplication backup appliance, think about using also that to leverage your IBMI storage of your backups, because LaserVault as a gateway solution, which is just the VTL interface to your IBMI, can connect to that storage, including any IBM storage that you might have that you would like to utilize for your backups. So adding replication just means that you're going to be able to make copies of your backups. Cloud storage is an option to auto replicate backup copies, whether it be Amazon S3, Microsoft Azure, Wasabi, really whatever cloud storage that you would like to incorporate as a means to keep copies of your backups, which could be compressed, encrypted, deduped, and encrypted. Many ways that you can save storage locally as well as the storage in which you replicate the backups. Fiber channel. Now we can connect. We get this question quite often on Power 10 machines where you're utilizing 16 gig fiber channel. Whether it be you're upgrading your current system to a Power 10, you'll be using 16 gig fiber channel if that's the connection that you want to use, the type of connection. If it's not SAS, that can be a direct connect from LaserVault to the IBMI using 16 gig in LaserVault and 16 gig in the IBMI, or it can connect through switch, either way. Okay, so let's take a quick look at LaserVault. First, I want to show you this interface with secured username and password to log in. I'm going to log in as administrator. This primarily is used to configure the VTLs, whether it's a tape drive that you're emulating onto your IBMI partition, or multiple tape drives, or a tape library with multiple drives. This is primarily used for that, and also creating and adding in your virtual media. From that point on, everything is running from the IBMI side in terms of backups and restores. So this is your new tape device, your new tape library with all your tapes available. And this is really primarily just the configuration and setting everything up so that everything is saved on the correct disk location and things like that. This is a handy screen for when you are first making your fiber channel connections from LaserVault Vital to the IBMI, either direct connected or via switch. Security is based on groups. So groups can have access to certain features within this interface, and I'll go over those. Adding users to those groups is here to get access to this interface. This is where you either define your tape libraries or your tape devices. So let's take a look at library 1. First thing we have is a name, so you can name the library whatever you want, which corresponds to this over here. Library path, this is going to the E volume disk on the server that we're running Vital on currently in our data center here in our Tulsa office. This could be instead a path to a SAN or NAS via iSCSI, fiber channel over Ethernet, or SMB share, NFS, that connectivity. So what that would mean is that LaserVault is not the storage. The server running Vital is just the tape emulation, the tape library, and the storage would be connected via network, fiber channel over Ethernet. So no storage would be required on the LaserVault server. Simply everything is passed through through LaserVault directly to the storage. And this is where all of your backups and your virtual tapes would reside. We emulate Ultrium 2 all the way to Ultrium 8. Newer IBMI systems, you'll want to emulate Ultrium 8. There is no size limit on any of these LTO versions for virtual tapes. Whether you use 2 or 8, you can back up 20 terabytes and it'll only take up 1 tape. So you're not going to have to use multiple tapes to run your backups because of the size limit. These do not have that. Also, no relation to speed either. LTO2 will be as fast as LTO8, faster than LTO9 tape. Storage slots. So this is where you can specify the number of slots you want in this tape library for the number of tapes that you need in your rotation. You can increase this number anytime that you want, all the way up to 16,000, I believe is 356 slots. The multi-thread feature is called our data block file count. So we want your backups to run as quickly as possible. So for a virtual tape that you're saving to, and the data block file count is set to 8, that means we're writing to 8 files at the same time for that one virtual tape. So this is a multi-thread feature that is going to utilize more of the CPU cores in a server or a VM in order to ingest that data and write it to disk. This number can go all the way to 32, 0 to 32. So you can change this number anytime anytime you're first testing the system. 4, 8, 16, somewhere around there to see what gets you the best speed. Typically 8 is best practice for speed. Write cache and read cache. Write cache is also for speed. 16 meg of write cache could be a faster backup speed than an 8 meg or 4 meg. Just depends on what various things that you're doing, what you're saving to, deduplication appliance, things like that. So such as a rubric appliance, the best speed we've seen on write cache is 16 meg. Read cache is for restore speed. LaserVault has a compression option, which averages about 5 to 1. This is not the same as data deduplication. Compression can be just enabled here, and it'll compress the data as it's being saved. And again, average is 5 to 1. You can do compression along with encryption with your encryption passkey here. It'll use that key to perform a restore. So this is software compression, not hardware compression like tape, and software encryption built into the LaserVault solution. Deduplication. This gives you the ability to increase your compression ratio of your data 10 to 1 or greater. Many times we'll see 12 to 1, 15 to 1. So it really kind of depends on your change rate. Production data will dedupe compress less than, of course, say development partitions, QA, test partitions. Ones that don't see a lot of change rate could compress up to 40 to 1. And just depending on the kind of backups that you're doing, 10 to 1 is a pretty conservative number for the compression. This also greatly reduces the amount of data you're replicating. So compared to compression, you could double your compression with dedupe, even triple or quadruple your compression with dedupe. This brings the amount of data that each day that you're having to replicate to cloud storage or to a second server. Now, if you're saving to, say, rubric, exagrid, cohesity, any other data deduplication solution, you wouldn't use any of these particular features. Allow those appliances to handle all of that. Replication retention. This is where previously on the slides we talked about cloud replication. So I have 3 different examples of replication network paths. So this is replicating from one LaserVault server to another, typically both with the same amount of storage. Replication to Amazon S3, replication Microsoft Azure, Wasabi's another one that's available, and we can really make any cloud storage account available in LaserVault for replication. So whichever you decide to use for your replication, whether it's cloud, setting up your own cloud account, or you have an existing cloud account to replicate to, that can be configured here in LaserVault to make copies of your backups. And you may want to make copies to both, to a DR location, to cloud. You may want to archive copies of long-term tapes to cloud. not having to store those on local disk. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, not to mention you can replicate to tape, and you can replicate from tape to LaserVault. So many of our customers have taken their older tapes or their current tapes and replicated them to LaserVault to store them on disk. So basically what we're doing here is we're setting up the automated replication of your backups, and then even retention, because retention can also be handled in this setup. So whether it's replication, retention, once this is set up in the screen here, then those jobs run automatically on LaserVault when your backup's complete, in order to make copies of your backups to an offsite location for disaster recovery. So this part is going to be completely automated, along with your backups that run on the IBM I, just like they do today, either in the job scheduler with go save commands or BRMS, running BRMS control groups, robot save, all going to be completely automated in terms of backups, compression, deduplication, encryption, replication, and retention are all handled. Replication and retention handled within LaserVault, saves and restores handled by the IBM I solution. So once this is set up, you're ready to go. Everything is going to be automated. Cloud storage, replication. You can see cloud storage properties here for an Amazon S3 account. Microsoft Azure. As you can see, it lets you can choose your hot, cool, or archive. This, based on whichever one of these you might be using, is going to give you faster with hot restore speed, slower with archive restore speed. Go to jobs. Oh, let me go back to libraries and show you a couple more things. Up here at the top, you have a control path with a serial number. So this appears as the serial number of the tape library on the IBM I system. The worldwide port name for that fiber channel port. Additional tape drives can be added with the add button here, or additional tape libraries can be added, each one with its own worldwide port name. Again, each physical fiber channel port on LaserVault can support up to 64 devices. Group access to this interface, edit a group to make any changes to what features are available to users that belong to this particular group. This is a quick screen to show to manage replication jobs. This is going to show you the process ID, the status. So the status of these replication jobs is that they've been completed. So this gives you a quick list of everything, of all the replication jobs that have completed. If there's one running, your status will be running. There's email notifications for this so that you'll be notified when a replication job starts, if there was an issue with a replication job, and once it completes. This is library 1. The drive for library 1 is here at the top. If you have multiple drives configured for this tape library, they would be listed here. This does represent TAP MLB V1 on the IBM I side, and there's the tape device for this tape library. With library 2, it also has its own set of tapes. This is actually emulating a tape device instead of a tape library. So if I do a go tape, TAP V2 is that tape device. So if you're not using BRMS, robot save, you're using go save commands, go backup, then you can set LaserVault up as a tape device instead of a tape library. As a tape library, you're going to see all of your inventory of tapes. All of these VT tapes are actually in BRMS So we just simply created those tapes with this create button here. Put a 1, 2, or 3 character prefix for your volume serial, so you get 6 characters, just like you do with physical. Create multiple tapes, go ahead and initialize those, and then add those, and those get added into inventory as basically blank tapes that have been initialized, and then those get added into BRMS. So this will be a separate set of tapes compared to your physical tapes, which would still be available in BRMS. And say you're using that particular solution, you can do Dupe Media BRM to make copies of those physical tapes into these virtual tapes. So once you create your media, you're ready to add them in there and you're ready to go. Other things you can do is you can move a tape into a drive manually. So if you needed a demode IPL from that full system tape, you could do that by loading it into the drive. Labels gives you a list of everything that's in that backup. Let's see if I have one here that's got some more libraries in it. So it shows you library, sequence, size, other information, kind of like doing a display tape. Since I'm admin, I can delete tapes, export tapes. Export tapes means moving them to here, which actually is cloud storage, Microsoft Azure. Exporting a tape means you're moving it from the inventory to that storage. If you click on import, you can always bring that tape back into your inventory, back to the library path. So these 2 tapes are currently in cloud storage, not in inventory. This is a move, not a replication. This could be automated if there are particular long-term tapes that you didn't want to store locally. You only wanted to store them off-site location or cloud storage, whatever. So check a tape, import brings it back to this path or whatever path that the library is pointing to, and then that tape reappears back into inventory for you. Protect tape. So the protect means you cannot delete it, you cannot initialize it, you cannot overwrite it. Even if I have it protected, I can't delete it from here. As an admin, I can't delete it until I unprotect it. So I have both of the features. Protect, unprotect is available for me to use here, and delete is also available for me to use. But if I was a different user and I may not have those features, also you can set the protect and unprotect from the IBM I side. So if you want to automatically protect your tapes once the backup's complete, we have a command on the IBM I side to do that, as well as the unprotect. So you'd unprotect it in order before it gets initialized and reused. Okay, so we've got some things that you can download. And if you do have any questions at this time, I can hang around and answer questions for you all. In the GoToMeeting panel, there is a option there to type in a question if you would like to ask that while we're online here. But also available in the GoToWebinar panel are some handouts that you can download. Sizing questionnaire is a really good one for helping you get an idea of what your disk space requirements are going to be for your backups, whether you're using compression or data deduplication. Sizing for fiber channel connections that need to be used or SAS connections. So there's a lot of really good information. LaserVault.com is our website. You can see more information. IBM Global Solutions Directory, we are there, so do that if you want. For a demo, so we can demo this with you and get a great idea of your IBM I environment for the number of partitions, the amount of data that you're needing to save, and give you an idea of what you're going to need in terms of storage, fiber channel, SAS, and answer any questions that you have on how, in more detail based on your environment. And you get a $50 gift card if you do the demo if you want it. So for installation and training, primarily, probably 99% of the time, we do a remote installation, whether it's installing the software on a server or a VM that you provide. We can do that remotely, or whether you purchase a server with storage or a gateway server to connect to storage, Most of the time we do this remotely. It is very simple to set up, very easy to learn. Our goal is that you're running a backup the first day, the first night that that installation and training, whether it be remote or on site, is completed and you're ready to start doing backups. Also, there'll be an email for a link to a recording on this webinar to share with your team. Please do so. And doesn't look like there's any other questions. Oh, there we go. Yeah, tape is a great way to air gap, right? So, because that, so you have a local copy on disk for fast, restores and fast saves and restores. Okay, so this system is got to be locked down within your network. So it's got to be locked down within your network to prevent any kind of hacking on the system. So also the other thing you're going to want to do is, being that LaserVault runs as a service, it can be set up to where only no other programs can access LaserVault, like malware or ransomware programs. And whatever that you currently use to lock down your servers within your data center environment, within your network, firewall, things like that, this is going to be, you're going to want to apply those same solutions to this. But tape is a great way to air gap that. So that's a complete air gap. Yes, yeah, we do offer outside the USA. There's several customers in Europe. Cloud storage is actually also a good way to air gap backups in terms of replication. And many of our customers also, we have lots and lots of customers with backup solutions that provide snapshots, a snapshot option for their backups. So that, and Rubric's one of those that does that. So there are a lot of backup solutions on the market today that if they don't work with the IBM I solution, because they're open systems backup solution, then we have many customers that use LaserVault to back up to those deduplication systems. Yeah, we'll get back to you on the flash copy. Yeah, there's a serial number for the tape device provided. I'm not familiar with flash copy requiring an IP address, because we have several customers that do back up their flash copy to Vital as a tape library, not requiring an IP address. So I'm not really if it's fiber channel connected, then it's my understanding how our current customers do this is they make it available. Yeah, you can do all of those. You can protect the delete, move, export. That's based on the group. So when we look at the interface again, we go to, you can see that as an admin, I have all of the move, delete, export, protect labels. I'm administrator group. If I go and edit this group and take off all of these, then I'm not allowed to do any of those particular features. That includes import, export, moving media, changing the write protect. I'm not allowed to delete. I'm not allowed to create new media. I'm not even allowed to view the library. So maybe I'm only allowed to view the library and the media as part of this particular group, whichever group that you want to set this up for, and then add those users to that group. Any more questions? Oh, there we go. Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone for your time, and please let us know via email, info@laservault.com, if you'd like to take a closer look at Vital and how it would work in your particular IBM I environment and so forth. And thank you all very much. And we do have a drawing for earbuds. Forgot about that. Apologize. Let me go to the next slide. Actually, show that real quick. So we'll have a drawing. You'll be notified via email if you do win the drawing for the Bose Bluetooth earbuds. Those are pretty sweet. We'll do that today. Thanks everybody for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.